Good evening, I'm Miranda O'Brien. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been pretty heated here for a little bit. Things have kind of calmed down for a few minutes. There's been cars driving by. They've been in support of both groups. There have been people that have been chanting for both Trump and Biden. There's just a few minutes left for people to go to the polls, so it'll be interesting to see how these two groups continue to react and interact. Jack, fire danger is at a high today, and as you can see here behind me, there was a fire north of Ellsworth Air Force Base. Police were called to Dilger Avenue and Custer Street around 2:30 this morning for reports of a man lying in the street bleeding. Blenner said over the years there have been several fatal accidents like this one, and on this road specifically. Increased fall tourism isn't random or even completely COVID related. Seaman says she's glad she gave the trades a chance and says she's learned life skills. Not just job skills. Decorey's hunt meets CDC guidelines on the outside, but also behind the scenes.
And I said someday when I grew up and had my own house, I was going to be one of those houses everybody wanted looked at.
That is amazing. This is an awesome light display. They even have lights on the back of the house so that people driving down the road behind them can see the display as well. Idea to do these. I know they've been all over social media, but why did you want to do them?
Well, I wanted a fun girls' night, and I figured a good way is to bake hot cocoa bombs, especially with our kids too.
Big hair, mixed patterns, and lots of color were expected to come back in 2020, according to the Zoe report. But the biggest comeback? Vinyl. One of 2020's unexpected changes, vinyl surpassed CD sales for the first time since the 80s. Jack, I am very afraid of needles, like deathly afraid. In fact, yesterday was only the second time I've ever actually given blood. It's not just culture or even land, despite the hashtag.
You can't joke around and say Black Hills Doksha anymore because we got a little piece of it back. Yeah, this is part of the land back movement. And the very fact that one of the things that we're doing with our land is to take care of our most vulnerable population kind of shows you the priorities and the trajectory with that movement.
The Land Back campaign launched on Native American and Indigenous Peoples Day in 2020. And although Camp Minaloosahan falls under NDN Collective's racial equity campaign, it goes hand in hand with the Land Back call to action.
And so when we were forcibly removed from the land, all of that was taken from us. And then a foreign way of being and helping ourselves was introduced to us. And that is why we see all of these things that we see today. So yes, in looking at it from that framework, Camp Minaloosahan very much is a reclamation of all of the things stolen from us, and including the land.
Two Bowls said Land Back has two branches. One to support movements calling for the return of indigenous lands across the world, and one right here in South Dakota.
We are saying shut down Mount Rushmore and return all public lands in the Black Hills back to the original stewards. And so that's a little bit more of our traditional campaign. When folks hear the term land back, there's a lot of fear attached to it, especially, white folks in the area. And we're not coming after people's homes.
Since the campaign's launch in October, not much has been done in the Black Hills, but plans are in the making.
I don't have anything, specifically to give you as of right now, but I can say that we do have a lot of things planned in the future. We're still building out our team, so I think in February, we're going to have a much clearer idea of some of the big next steps that we might have locally.
Miranda O'Brien, CODA Territory News. Losing your home would be hard, but what if your forever home was right in front of you, yet simply out of reach? That's Brian Ireland's reality.
It was a brand new build when I bought. I was the original homeowner. So I would have assumed that, you get all these inspections, you get all these people that come through to ensure things like this don't happen. And obviously, either it got overlooked or it was not considered a issue, and they didn't think it would come to light. And obviously, as we can see, we have a problem.
A family home full of 16 years worth of memories, cleared out in just 3 days.
Since 2004 to 2020, I'd been here, and we emptied the house in 3 days and moved on. Basically, you've got a home that you're making payments on every month that, you don't know if you're ever going to get paid back for. So you don't have any equity. It's not worth anything as it sits today. So it just sits out here and hoping something will happen someday.
Ireland spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and liquidated part of his retirement trying to find his family a new place to call home. But as he and his former neighbors continue to make payments on places they can't live or don't feel safe living, the fear of the sinkhole and uncertainty of a legal battle hang heavy in the air.
This sinkhole doesn't get stopped by a fence. I would say there's more down there that just has not appeared yet, based upon what we've been learning along the way.
Finding a way to celebrate a centennial birthday can't be easy.
It's been kind of a head scratcher because we were planning on doing a family reunion with the whole family from all over the United States, and then this happened. So then we had to start thinking of how can we make it special and still keep her safe.
Especially when celebrations are tricky to come by in 2020.
We've been coming up and visiting her through the window. So we decided we'd just have her birthday cake outside and then take a piece into her, and so just do the best we can.
For this family, doing the best they could gave Grandma Grape a birthday she'll never forget to mark a historic milestone.
Happy birthday! Well, it's really something we never have ever done, you know, that's a new thing.
Not only did Jean's family find a way to wish her a happy birthday, but so did hundreds of other people who sent her birthday cards.
Some of them I don't know, but they know my kids, and so they do that way, you know, get a card because of them. And it's Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, clear out there I can get a card from. It's really amazing.
So far she's got, I think, 236 cards. So everybody's, people she doesn't even know. And schools, their classes have sent cards, so she's real excited about that. She's a marvelous person, and she's just as sharp as can be. So it's just so gratifying that, you know, everybody has stepped up and people don't even know her and making this day special for her.
For Coda Territory News, I'm Miranda O'Brien.
Thanks, Matt. Family usually takes top priority this time of year, but the pandemic is making that more difficult. And while it might be tempting to reconnect in person, Dr. Shankar Krua with Monument Health explains why now is not the time to forget CDC guidelines and health safety measures.
'Tis the season to spend time with loved ones. But for this holiday season, the safer choice might be to stay home.
Welcome back. It's that monthly time when Paula with Pennywise joins us in the studio with money-saving tips she's been gathering all month long. It's a new year, so Paula, what do you have for us to kick off 2021?
Well, I got a letter from a gentleman who's from this area, and he said that in the hills, you have lots of people that park their cars and pickups and campers and stuff under pine trees, and you get gobs of pine sap on them. And he found out that plain old rubbing alcohol on a rag, soak it up, lay it on there, wait a couple of minutes, and it wipes right off.
You're kidding. I would have never thought about that. And it doesn't hurt the paint or anything?
It doesn't hurt paint or anything, no.
It was at Augusta, the same place.
Okay.
It's usually an April event. They had to postpone it to November this year. So it was a little bit different conditions. Guys had to, a little softer this year.
Fair enough. Looked a little different. I saw a video of a really big alligator in Florida the other day on a golf course, so I'm glad that it wasn't at that particular golf course.
Me too.
Still to come, we'll hear final weather from meteorologist Matt Gontarek.
Oh, there you go. I'm for that.
Right?
Otherwise, I don't want a robot, you know, knowing my schedule, knowing all that.
That's a little weird, but pouring me a glass of wine, I think that sounds fabulous.
All day long, yes.
And I know I'm a huge fan of brownies, so I would definitely be willing to try this one.
Absolutely. My favorite has always been the original Oreo flavor with that cream filling.
I agree.
I think I like that one. I think I might like that one.
We'll have to try it out. We'll have to see if we can find them. I'm not a huge fan of coffee, but we're going to toss over to weather because I'm more of a fan of snow.
I'm a fan of coffee, but you're going to need it tomorrow. It's going to be cold. Temperatures are going to be falling into the 20s tonight. You do have some snow starting. Light accumulations here in Rapid City right now. I'll have more details later on. Temperatures are going to hold off into the 30s tomorrow. It's going to be a cold day. Wednesday, Veterans Day, 41 degrees, 39 on Thursday, then near average towards the end of next week.
Thank you guys for joining us for the 5:30. Make sure to tune in again tonight at 10.